All right, Craig.
Yeah.
Welcome to the NCR podcast.
Hey, thank you very much, Pete, for having me. Appreciate it.
No problem. This is exciting stuff. You've come to a few, we're at the DDC, the Derelict Doctors Club at the MDL1. You might need to shuffle this way a little bit, Jen, to get into the picture there. This is my first one ever, but you've been to a few of them.
Yeah, I have. This is my third or fourth one.
This
that
your,
I've been able to. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Third or fourth. Hold the mic just a little closer.
There. Yep, test. Yep, there we go. How's that?
That's good.
Good.
Man, how do you just like them because of the networking, eh?
Yeah, networking, and so I came to the first one and was blown away by the caliber of speakers. These are recognized authors in the nutrition field, specifically dealing with ketogenic diet, paleo diet, and the kind of anti-sugar arena.
Yeah.
And books and papers that I've read. Dr. Robert Lustig is a good one. He really had that awesome video that we put on our website years ago, The Bitter Truth, Sugar the Bitter Truth, and he was there speaking. I thought that was so impressive that I was excited about it, stayed the entire evening, spoke to him all, and then at the end of it, Greg Glassman is, the generous guy that he is, said, you got an open invite, come to all of them. And I thought, nah, not really. And sure enough, every time I've gotten an invite, and I'm afraid to not come, because if I don't come, I'll be dropped.
Dropped off the list.
Dropped off the list.
And I mean, well, it's a great list to be on.
Oh yeah.
So you're the owner of CrossFit Diablo.
Yep.
In just outside San Francisco.
Can I correct you?
Sorry, Diablo CrossFit.
Yes.
Sorry, my bad. I'm wearing the shirt. Yeah.
That's right. Yes. Thank
Diablo
you.
CrossFit.
Thank you, by the way, for wearing that today.
My bad. Yeah.
That's
great
right.
Shirt. Fits nice.
Yeah.
Just outside San Francisco in Walnut Creek.
Yep. Pleasant Hill's the city. We started in Walnut Creek, and we're now in Pleasant Hill, which adjoins.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay,
that
cool.
area, yeah.
And you just came back from the 10-year affiliate gathering?
Yes.
That's
had a great
awesome.
time. Yep.
How long has it been? 10 years exactly? How long?
No, for us, we got started at the end of 2005 when we were officially affiliated in 2006. So for us, it's we're at almost 15 years now.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the same location?
Well, we're in our second location, essentially. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yep.
You've sent multiple teams to the CrossFit Games.
Yeah, we have. We've been blessed enough to have a community that provides athletes to do that.
Athletes, individual athletes as well.
Yeah.
Masters athletes?
Quite a few Masters athletes.
Yourself?
Myself. I've been to the games twice and won once in 2013, and kind of hung up my hat after that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And on a high note.
Yeah, and on a high note.
Yeah, exactly.
The pool was getting bigger, right?
Yeah.
And it gets harder and harder to maintain, and it's all encompassing now.
Yeah.
The athletes, including the Masters athletes, everything's got to be on, and you're on all the time.
Yeah.
And with your training, with your nutrition, with recovery, all of that stuff. But we've sent more than, I did a count the other day, we've sent more than 60 athletes to the games.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
In teams or masters or individuals.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about this, and it's sort of what I want to talk about, is like your success as an affiliate. Like it's not by chance that you are able to keep your doors open for almost 15 years, right? And I heard you say in an interview, who was it? Was it Arm & Hammer?
Yeah.
You did a little interview with Arm & Hammer. He put it on his YouTube page.
Yeah.
And he was asking you about your games athletes versus your everyday member, and you had a good response. You said the games athletes don't support the gym.
Yes.
Or they don't keep the doors open.
That's right.
But what they do is they inspire the members.
Yeah, and they are. And what's cool for us, when we've kind of in our mission and value statements, is one of the things I state in that is that we try to make people fans of the sport. Right. Mm-hmm. It's another reason for them to stay with CrossFit and Diablo CrossFit. Like if they're fans, right, it's just one more reason why they might want to stay with us. Yeah. But we celebrate the successes of our of our athletes, and it's awesome. It's cool to see. They inspire us. They give us new techniques to try. They give us new ways to train, new ways to think about CrossFit and getting fit. Yet we thrive on the successes of our everyday members.
Yeah.
And what they do in the gym, what they do in the Open, for example. The Open is. It's exciting to watch Alessandro Picelli go, and or
sure.
some of our athletes go when we do the Friday Night Lights. But man, I'll tell you what, when you see someone get their first pull up or their first RX Open workout, that one was we had quite a few of those for 20.1. It's really freaking cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's definitely that's definitely inspiring.
Yeah.
And it's fun. And you get, it's the trickle down effect, right? One person gets inspired by Picelli. Yeah. And then someone gets inspired by that person.
That's
and someone gets inspired by that person, like, hey, I could clean and jerk 95 pounds. I'm going to hit this RX. And then all of a sudden,
it is contagious all the way down.
Yeah.
And so when we get the tip of the spear going, you get inspired by that, and the epitome of human performance going. And then, hey, you know what? Yeah, I might be able to do it. This year, what was really cool, we opened up our Friday Night Lights, and we had it coincided with our teen class, which we do 3 days a week. And we had all of our teens come in for Friday Night Lights during their class, and they were the first heat of 20.1. So everybody was already there because they were planning on going. Yeah. And they were gathered around cheering and celebrating that. And that was a number of our members came up and said that was super cool and super inspiring.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love that.
So I think one of the things that people would be interested to hear about is, how does a 15-year affiliate kind of start out? The first thing I notice is when I walk into your gym, it's this huge space. How many square feet is it?
But we have 12,000 square feet.
12,000 square feet, pretty big gym, for CrossFit standards even. Yeah. You've got such a diverse community.
We do.
People interested in different things, different levels. You've got games athletes. You've got, you've got elderly in there and masters athletes. You've got, people doing weightlifting in the corner, and you've got open gymmers over doing the workouts while you got classes going. Like it's kind of crazy. It's like organized chaos a little bit when you walk in, and then you kind of settle in and you look around. And you're like, wow, this is just, it's welcoming for anyone who wants to get their fitness on. But was it always like that? Like, how'd you start out?
I think it kind of was, and I say that because myself and the original partners were family-oriented individuals that had really no egos. And for us, when we started Diablo CrossFit, it wasn't to start a business. It was to try and share the CrossFit methodology with other people that wanted to do it with us. Mm-hmm. We were so excited about it. We didn't have any place to do it, except we were doing it in Globo gyms or in the park. We thought, man, if we could just have a get together and open a place up, then we'll have a place to do it. And we literally did. And we started actually when we first opened. Our first location was 750 square feet, kind of a shed, and we called it the Shed. Okay. We put up a karma jar for membership fees.
Love it.
And so all we asked was, hey, just make some sort of contribution to help us pay the rent and the utility bills, and it'll work. And then it just kind of took off from there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you held regular classes, or was it just sort of open
so at
house?
First we said we'll do like a 5 p.m. class and a 6 a.m. class. Yeah. And then as those filled up, and Greg Glassman said this, the best time to add a new class is when people complain a lot.
Right.
And so we started flowing out from the garage space out into the parking lot to do classes. And that's when we realized we had to add more classes. We had to get membership software to kind of keep track of it all.
Right.
My partner at the time, Jeremy Jones, quit his job and volunteered to quit his job so that he could help run it and do most of the classes.
Is Jeremy still involved?
No, I bought him out of the partnership 2 years ago.
Okay, so it's only you right now?
Yeah, it's only me, myself and my wife.
Cool,
yeah.
Very cool. And at the time, what were you doing for work?
I came out of the investment industry, so I worked in the investment banking industry.
Okay.
And that was my career up until 2014 when Diablo was big enough to be able to cover our bills.
Right.
I had to give up quite a bit in terms of luxuries
in
life, but but enjoy my job today much more.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you have a family?
Yes, my wife and daughter. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And yes, 16 now.
So obviously supporting a kid, you gotta
absolutely all of that stuff. And what's cool is my wife is passionate about CrossFit as well too, and so she does the books and kind of runs the store and all of that side of the business and the facilities, and that makes it nice, and it makes it a little bit easier.
Is that her full-time job now?
Yeah, that's her full-time job as well.
Wow. And what did she do before?
My wife was prior to that was a hairdresser.
Oh, cool.
And spent a lot of years doing that, and then stayed at home to help raise our daughter after that.
That's
and
awesome.
Then went back to work as we grew Diablo.
Yeah. So now it's the family business.
Yeah, now it's family business.
Is your daughter, does she have aspirations of becoming, a coach and all this stuff?
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah.
She wants to stay far from what the parents are doing.
It's funny, when she was about 8, 9, or I think she was like 9 or 10. And I remember very distinctly in the parking lot walking, and she was going to do a class at one of our kids' classes. And she said to me, "Papa, is it okay if I don't do CrossFit?" And it was a really kind of a telling moment.
Funny.
Yeah. And I looked and I had to tell her, I go, "Yeah, absolutely." I go, that's your mother and I's thing. Like, you can have your thing. That's our thing. But you need to have something in your life, whether it's some sort of exercise or moving in your life, which she does. So that's cool. And she's not super passionate about CrossFit. Yeah. But again, you're coming from a world where we're 24/7 CrossFit,
Yeah.
so I totally get it.
And
100%.
she's 16, you
Yeah,
said?
she's
So
16 now.
All of her life.
Yeah, that's right.
Like her whole life, she's grown up in the gym.
She's grown up in the gym.
That's interesting. We have people like that now. Like your business partners, like the kids are growing up in the gym.
That's right.
It'd be interesting to see. Like
she knows it. She goes there, and then she's again, and I get it. What the other thing that's difficult? My wife and I both. We made it a passion, so we both competed. My wife's competed at the games. She's been to the games 4 times as a masters athlete, and my daughter was placing kind of expectations on herself that I don't think we did, but it was. I remember talking to her about PE class, because the her PE teacher in high school, in her freshman year, sent me an email saying, "Hey, she's not working hard when she's doing her 400-meter run. She's not, she needs to step it up a little bit." And I remember having a conversation with her. So, "Alana, you got to you got to put in this." And then she, literally was, started crying. She goes, "I'm never gonna be as good as you guys are at this stuff." And that like broke my heart, because I thought, oh my, I didn't realize that, the kids do this. We end up being their role models without really knowing it. Totally. She was placing those expectations on herself to try to measure up this, and was thinking, "I'm never going to be as good as they are at it." And I told her again, "Look, that's our thing. Like, we're, especially on the CrossFit side, we're crazy CrossFitters. I do not expect you to
just follow in your footsteps necessarily. Yeah, exactly.
Find your thing." And she does have her own things, which is cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So along the way, obviously, there's some challenges to keeping an affiliate open, to train, to when it comes from like training the coaches all the way to just keeping the place clean. Like, what are some of the significant challenges you've faced? Like, are there a couple that kind of stick out to you?
Yeah, there's when we were at the affiliate gathering, Armin had said that to me. He goes, "Man, the one thing I kind of gathered from all these owners, the tenure owners, is that they're stubborn." And I think for us, we've been exceptionally stubborn. We have a lot of things that we've been through. If someone said, I've had coaches who left me and tried to recruit members, we've had that. I had a coach that left in the very early days, 2000. I think it was 2000, at the end of 2008, and went to the new gym on the block, the big UFC gym near us, and scared the crap out of us. We thought this is going to be the end of us, because they have everything there, and attracted a similar type clientele. Yeah. And he recruited 3 of our 5 coaches to go work for him, and they left and went to work for UFC gym. All of them came back, which was cool. Oh, wow. Within a very short period of time. They started a similar type CrossFit program there. So, we created an environment where our members can thrive and our coaches can thrive. And they came back for that environment. But I've faced those challenges with employees. We've opened other affiliates. I chased I chased that.
And currently you don't.
That shiny object.
Do you own other ones besides
No,
Diablo CrossFit now?
we've sold all the other locations that we had, or when in our the biggest one that we had, which was near us, the lease expired and we didn't renew the lease. It was an exorbitant rate in a retail shopping center that just didn't financially make sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, we didn't renew that lease, and I couldn't find a reasonable property nearby. So most of those customers, fortunately, became customers of our Pleasant Hill location. So that was good.
So when you decide to go open up another location, like what's the main motivation behind that?
Yeah, it was for us at the time. It was opportunity for our coaches and a market that was underserved by CrossFit.
Right. And then to close it down, what was the motivation behind that?
Financial.
Right.
Literally financial.
Yeah.
That one was bleeding us in our other locations.
Okay.
And we felt that it was absolutely necessary that we shut that down, or it could have been the end. Could have carried over. Could have been the end. Yes, we've been through that before too. I also chased grid in the MPGL.
Right.
In a big way.
Yeah.
And that likewise was almost the end, because of the financial investment that was required and the number of investors that we had on top of it. Some of them are members that invested, and it was an awesome and fun experience, and I learned a hell of a lot, but it was financially debilitating. But over 15 years, and as a business owner, there's shiny objects you want to chase.
Yeah.
Right? You get. I think the daily routine maybe gets boring, or you forget why you're there, and you chase these objects, and they detract from your core competency.
Yeah.
Which is making people fit beyond expectation.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah, definitely. Has the whole CrossFit Health movement been sort of, I don't know, in a sense, like, has it brought you back to that to center for the same reasons that you started the CrossFit gym? Are you now kind of realizing like everything's kind of come full circle in a sense for you, or is this something totally different, like a new endeavor and approach that you're taking to your gym to sort of get it to 20 years now, and you're seeing that sort of factor in? Or
that's a good way to ask that question, because I feel like it's a little bit leading in the right direction for me.
Yeah.
Because the answer is yes. I do feel like it's re-energizing our original call to action,
right,
which was to make people healthy and fit, and in a powerful way. But I see it as not. It's not going to. And I was talking to the guys that own CrossFit Livermore. It's not going to put members in our classes tomorrow or next month. I'm not going to add 30 more members because of CrossFit's initiatives to improve health and debunk the conventional research that's been out there,
right,
telling us that it's okay to eat lots of sugar and to avoid fats.
Yeah.
But that curing chronic disease is something that's real, because I feel like it's a freight train coming down the tracks, and we can see it from far off, and it's moving really slowly.
Yeah.
But in 5 years from now, I see it impacting our business. I see there is going to be a shift. I noticed, I don't know if you noticed in your gym, we're getting just by and large, the demographics are getting older. Mm-hmm. And some would say, well, that's because your members are getting older. And not necessarily. I think the general population, it's the baby boomers that are getting older. The largest percentage of our population is getting older. Yeah. And so those folks are coming in and starting to come in. And they're starting to understand the importance of strength training. Yeah. And CrossFit gyms are the best place to get that. They're also starting to realize, I think it's one of the biggest impacts that CrossFit's had overall on fitness, is the value of high intensity interval training. Right. And constantly varied training. Definitely. And they know, and if you do a little bit of research into that, CrossFit's gonna pop up. It's gonna pop up. That's right. And so I think we're starting to get a lot of that. I've gotten a few members in the last 6 months. Bao Tran is one member that I specifically know that came in because he looked up, what do I do about my diabetes for exercise, and CrossFit popped up. No way. Yeah. That's amazing. And so he's got just Googled it. Yeah, he Googled it and so ended up, and he's a great guy. He's got 3 days a week. He's very religious. His sugar WOD results are very detailed. That's but that's amazing. I think Bao is a classic example of what we're going to see in the next 5 to 10 years. Right. So CrossFit Health, this initiative has got me really focused, more than I think I ever have been, on the longer term for Diablo CrossFit. I see a lot more business coming our way.
Yep.
And I think a lot of affiliates, they need to look. You got to pay the bills, so it's important to focus on the short term, making sure new members are coming in, whatever promotions and marketing you do. But I don't think they need to worry as much as they
think they need to.
Yes, as I think they need to, because I think 5 years, 10 years, especially with the initiatives that CrossFit's taking to focus on curing chronic disease, will be a big boon for us, a really big boon.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think the long-term game is what people kind of have to take into perspective for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of the changes. I mean, and it's hard to. I think it's hard for a lot of affiliate owners. You hear about some affiliate owners that are like, they're angry with the direction CrossFit took with the advertising and the media and all this stuff. And I mean, I understand their frustration because, if you don't understand the long game right away, then you just see someone taking something away from you.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think as soon as you start to understand, okay, what demographic is actually going to keep the gym open long term, then you start to understand the benefits of like what kind of direction they're actually heading now.
Yeah.
And coming back full circle to that sort of just driving people into your gym who want to become healthier.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
And these are the people that are going to be long-term clients. Is because
want to move better, right?
Want to move better,
Yeah.
want to be healthier. They're bought into the long-term game as a client, right? Because they believe that CrossFit now is essential to their life.
Yeah.
And I think that, I totally agree.
The one of the things that I'm seeing pop up that is directly related to what we do, that I see a lot in the media and all of the things that I follow, is the validation of strength training.
Yeah.
And the importance, especially for the aging population, and especially even more importantly for women. In terms of increasing bone density and then protecting against falls. And I have a number of members who will tell you that that's why they are there.
Right.
I really don't know of any large fitness organizations that are training people on the barbell and training people for strength like CrossFit.
Yeah.
I mean, you can include the Gold's gyms and the old powerhouse gyms. Like, they aren't doing it. Those places are, Global Gym, where you go in and you're there by yourself, unless you hire a private trainer, personal trainer.
And if they're doing CrossFit with you.
Right. And there are some gyms,
the
Olympic lifting gyms or barbell gyms, but those are boutique and they're small and they're not chains. But nothing is as large as an organization and as well versed and as well trained as CrossFit is in training people for strength.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In addition, obviously, through CrossFit, but also separately through just teaching movement and strength training than us. And I feel like that kind of direction within the media and within the public is going to drive that alone. Just the need for strength training, the importance of strength training is going to drive a lot of people, a lot of business, and I think it needs to be an important part of people's websites.
Right.
That we train people, and to not shy away from the barbell, not shy away from strength training, because it is so crucial, and it is a distinguishing characteristic. You can't get strength training at a boot camp. You can't get strength training at Orange Theory.
Big time.
No, and we were talking about that this morning with Julie and Danny, the fact that the level 1 breaks down the strength training and the gymnastics in such an accessible way that almost any age or education level can appreciate it and understand it. So you're taking these complex weightlifting movements and truly making it accessible to a grandmother or someone like that.
Absolutely. And then CrossFit's now focused on the slips, the static gymnastic movements that I think are super essential as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And easy to do, but need instruction to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no one does it better than we do.
I don't know what's going on here.
Is it recording or?
Yeah. Let me see. Talk. Talking to that one.
Hello.
That's the one you want to talk into.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. What's interesting about that's again, it's like the programming, the slips type of stuff, is that people are so focused on the short term that they don't. It's just like they don't open up to what has CrossFit published in the past as like the base of the pyramid in terms of athletic development. It's like basic gymnastics.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people, like, you come to the gym, what's the hardest thing for you to learn? It's the gymnastics movements.
Absolutely.
Right. Because it's like, you can't, no matter how much technique you're going to be able to give someone for these gymnastics movements, a lot of them is just like, you need a base level of strength and you got to develop that body awareness slowly over time. Like there's no PVC for gymnastics movements.
No.
You got to start from the base and work your way up.
You know, I had a good conversation with Justin Berg about it at the 10-year anniversary, and Justin said, you know, it's grindy, it's boring, and it is. I've done those gymnastics, but it's much better when there's a group of people to do it with, right?
Yes. Oh yeah, exactly.
In a class environment with a coach that's helping you walking through it, or setting it up as imams, or you know, those types of things. It makes it much better.
Yeah.
So
no, that's amazing.
Get through it.
When you were at the 10-year affiliate, like chatting with all the owners, did everyone have, you know, sort of the same perspective, the same as you, the same sort of, you know, idea of what drives an affiliate to success beyond 10 years? What was the sort of consensus?
I got a sense. What I got a sense of was a great deal of grace towards CrossFit. They were very grateful for, you know, helping them have a business for that many years, and I got a sense that most of them were very excited about the next 5 to 10 years.
Right.
And I don't think I talked to anybody that was like, I'm out or I'm done.
Right.
I think everyone was kind of excited by the perspective that they would have a new clientele to be working with in the deconditioned and the elderly, and because I think those are going to be an important source of revenue for our gym, just from the business perspective, and especially the time of day that they can come to class. And I got a sense that everyone that I talked to was on had the same sense that I did. And they weren't, I think everyone agreed, and even CrossFit agrees, that they're terrible at communication to their affiliate community.
Right.
I forgive them for that. But I also get the opportunity to come to things like this where I can, you know, kind of bend people's ears.
Right.
And I get that, and they could do a better job of communicating. Even the stuff that we get here today, just, you know, putting out sound bites of that stuff is super powerful.
Absolutely.
And I think they'll come around.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, for example, a lot of the sound bites that are going on today, putting those out, it does happen, you know. But I think a lot of people, if you go to the main site, a lot of the lectures are on the main site, right? But it's just a question of whether or not people are actually going to listen to it, because
well, that's the amazing irony, is people seem to be so upset about the direction of the main site, yet they're not going to it on a regular basis, right?
To see, exactly.
I'm getting the CrossFit email of the day, and admittedly, when it first started coming, I rarely opened it.
It's like, what's going on? Yeah, exactly.
And now I open it up all the time.
Yeah.
And I use that content. I do a weekly email to our community, and in it is a section where I, you know, talk about what I'm reading recently. And usually every week there's something from that CrossFit email of the day, which is content that's coming directly from the website.
Yeah.
And that content helps elevate the intellectual status of CrossFit, to be honest with you. And that's something that's super helpful for us as well. We're not just a bunch of grunts.
No, definitely.
You know, trying to improve our Fran times.
Well, if you look at the NSCA, you know, who was sort of at the top of the mountain before CrossFit came along.
That's
right. What were they doing? They were publishing scientific papers, and, you know, they still do to today. Like, how did they legitimize themselves? They did it through published research.
That's right.
And you know, trying to go that route, because that's how you get the world to listen.
Yeah. Right? Over a long period of time, and people look back after, you know, then they say, wow, man, these guys publish a lot. They must know what they're doing.
That's exactly it. Yeah, exactly. When you're talking to these other 10-year affiliate owners, you know, do a lot of them have second jobs? Is this all like full time for them? Did you get a sense for that?
I got a sense, like, for me it was like half and half for the people I talked to.
Because I think young affiliate owners want a sense of security.
Yeah, they do.
A lot of them they're like, can I quit my job? Do I need to go out and find a second job if I don't already have one? Is this gonna support my family, like, long term?
Yeah.
You know, they want to know that there's some security in that. But I mean,
for me, it was about half and half of the people that were there. So
Right.
half were part time,
Yeah.
and they started that way, and then and then half were full time. And if I was giving advice to an affiliate owner, I'd say don't quit your job.
Yeah.
But I would give this to anybody that's starting a new business.
It's ironic because
if you
people
can
want
keep
the security.
Yeah, if you can keep a full time
But
job,
it's-
right?
Yeah.
Keep your full time job, and
Yeah.
then start this.
Yeah.
But there comes a point in time, like with me, and when you gotta make that leap. And for me, it worked out. But I'm kind of one of those guys that, if you burn the boats, man. I got nothing else to do but fight. You know? I got nowhere to go but forward.
Yeah.
And but I think for most affiliate owners, what happens is they start part time. Some of these affiliate owners, they start part time and they get comfortable part time.
Right.
And they don't want to give up the security of the health benefits,
Right.
of the pension benefits.
It's
kind
of like they opened the gym, they went through that stressful scenario, and they're not ready to take that second step and go through another stressful time.
Yeah.
That's right.
While they're trying to make it their full-time gig.
That's right.
It's an ironic thing to want security in a small business when you're just opening it up, and it is an independent business, right? It's not a what's the word I'm looking for? We're affiliates. We're not.
We're franchises.
We're not franchises,
Yeah.
right? So, no one's going to run it for you. No one's going to tell you what to do. You need to go out and you need to dig and try and find out some business strategies for your local area, and you need to thrive. Like
you got to look. I think it goes with any successful business that you get started with, and it's not going to be easy. And making that leap over. And I think what happens is it starts out easy as a part time.
Yeah.
But going to that full time thing is painful. But it's not just CrossFit. It's any type of business. I was particularly moved on a book I've read, and I would recommend anybody that's going to open an affiliate read Howard Schultz's book, Pour Your Heart Into It. The story of Starbucks. Where he's sitting on a park bench in New York City with his father-in-law who's trying to talk him out of doing Starbucks because his daughter was pregnant by Howard.
Yeah.
Says, hey, this is not a good idea. And he was 1 year into the project that wasn't making money. He was struggling, and he said, if I had taken that advice, right, none of it would have happened. And it's and there are moments when you're sitting on a park bench with your father-in-law and you're contemplating, why the hell did I do this? And at Diablo, I've sat on that park bench a number of times.
Right.
A number of times going, why did we do this?
I guess that comes back to like purpose and how much you believe in the purpose of what you're doing.
Yeah. And there's times when you got to get gritty. It's going to be hard. There's going to be coaches that are going to leave. There's going to be members that are going to leave. It's even particularly hard with a CrossFit affiliate, I think, because it's a community. So you develop relationships with people.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I've told a number of people this. It's like running a church, right? And you're the pastor. And if you're not around enough, man, that congregation will go to hell.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely. You got to be around a lot. You got to manage that. You got to make sure the community goes well. And you got to make sure the business goes well.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's good advice for the affiliate owner who thinks that one day they're going to be able to just not be there and it's going to run itself. I don't think that's ever going to be the case. I don't think it's, in my eyes, it shouldn't be the case.
No, interestingly enough, when we opened, had multiple locations. That's what happened, right? It took me away from that Pleasant Hill location. As soon as we closed I sold San Jose, and then our Alamo location, the lease ran out. That was last year, the beginning of last year. And we came back and we were at Pleasant Hill full time. And I said, I'm just going to work on this, and we may do some online stuff for other things. It is literally just
taken off. Yeah.
And my wife and I look at each other like, well, you know why? And it's because we're there.
You're there.
Yeah.
Did you find that was the case for most 10-year affiliate owners? They only had one, or there was a few sprinkled in there that had multiple?
Yeah, they had there was a few that had multiple.
Yeah.
And but most of them, the ones that I've talked that have multiple, they're trying to figure a way to get back to
get
one.
rid of them.
That's so interesting.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, Invictus is down too.
Yeah, everyone, it's like you said, everyone's attracted to the shiny object.
It was in 2014. Things were growing so rapidly. It was,
Right.
so easy to think if I open another one, it'll be just like this one.
Well, because we talked about this the other day. Is like I talked about this with PT. It's what you're almost paying for with the affiliate fee, because a lot of people have questions about why are we paying an affiliate fee when we don't have media,
right?
It's like you put CrossFit on your door and people will walk into your gym right off the street without ever having experienced your gym. But then it's up to you to have the good coaching and the good business model to keep them in there, you know, in the long term. And so, I mean, for the affiliate fee is like $4,000 Canadian. Like that's nothing.
That's
a
right.
year, you know, they're going to come to your gym. And then at that point, it's up to you.
And then it does give you instant credibility, despite what people think that they're going to the website and going, oh, it's a bunch of old person brand. Believe me, CrossFit has a legacy, and the CrossFit game still has merit. So you're still going to get those people that want the CrossFit style fitness.
Absolutely,
for years. Yeah. It's the brand perception of serving health, the health of the nation and the elderly communities. That's going to take years to change.
Yeah, it's almost like if you're under 10 years, if you're less than a 10-year affiliate, you're just experiencing the effect of the brand.
That's right.
On your front door.
That's right.
And so you're tempted to open up that second location because you know that as soon as you do it, people will walk in. Yeah. But then it's beyond 10 years where you start to realize that, oh crap, if I want to keep these people for another 10 years, I need to be everywhere at once. Like this kind of sucks.
Exactly right.
You know?
To develop those relationships, to make sure, you know, classes are being run on time, the gym looks the way you want it to look, that your
coaches are being developed properly.
Coaches are being developed. They're feeling nurtured, feeling, you know, loved and appreciated. And yeah, it really is. It's an interesting type of business. But look, I still, you know, even when I went to the gym last night because I had forgotten my charger for my computer, and I thought, crap, I'm going to the DDC tomorrow, and I've got to go back to the gym. And I took my daughter and my dog to the gym, and we got into the gym, and I opened it up, and I felt, every time I walk through those doors, I feel amazing. Like I felt good, and we hung out there. We were throwing the ball back and forth with the dog. It was a lot of fun.
Remember we left the gym the other day, and I was like, man, I love this place. You know, it's just like
there is that. I can tell you, you can't get that in a lot of places. You can't get that in a lot of jobs. So
No.
That is the especially rewarding. And when I go there, when I walk in the mornings, it takes me, and I know you guys too will testify to this, it takes me 30 minutes to get from the front door to go, you know, 50 feet to my office.
Yeah, exactly.
And the conversations, the talk, the stories,
exactly.
Especially now to actually double that for the open season.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
All of the open
it's
workout
like, can you judge me real quick?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, no problem.
And it's just, that is so freaking cool.
I know it is.
I noticed that yesterday because we were there yesterday, Saturday morning. You guys had just done your Friday night lights.
Yes.
You said you were at the gym till after 9 p.m. You were tired, and you came in, you said, I'm going to do 20.1 now myself. And I think you helped like 24 other people before you finally were doing your open workout afternoon.
Yeah. You had said it to us right before we did it.
Yeah.
So we did it. We had time to do an entire more like hour-long workout. And then I judged you.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that, so I was driving in, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do it with feet. Because they're coming in, it'll be perfect. And then I'll help coach that RX Plus class. And all that went to hell.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
That's being a gym owner.
But
again, it was just a great day at the gym.
Yeah.
Like I'm not shoveling coal.
No. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Do you have any full-time coaches at your gym?
I do. I have 3 full-time coaches, and then the rest are part-time, about 15 part-time coaches. And people decry that. There was some criticism about that from a couple of in that tenure, I think it was the Emily DeBeers article. Yeah. And first of all, we're in a new era where people like having multiple jobs, right?
That's true.
I've realized that people have side gigs, they have weekend stuff that they do, you know, and even firefighters and policemen, you know, they've got those extra hours and they're doing side things. It's kind of the nature of our society today and living in America, especially in a high net worth area like the Bay Area where it's expensive to find a house. But I give all of my coaches the opportunity to earn a full-time income, but they choose to, you know, I guess one of my coaches, a great example is he's a Cirque du Soleil guy, so he does some consulting to Cirque du Soleil. Okay. He does coaching with us. He does private coaching with us, and then he also coaches over at University of California, Berkeley, their gymnastics team. He's got a
Wow.
he loves this lifestyle.
That's so cool.
He's busy as can be. He's got 3 different things going. He's a part-time coach with us, and we benefit.
And he's physical all day. It seems like that's what he wants to do, right?
All day. And that seems to be pretty much what most of my coaches do. And I try to work around. It's a little bit difficult for us to work around their scheduling, but it works.
Yeah. The opportunity that you give your coaches to be full-time, is that through personal training?
Yeah, that's mostly through personal training.
So you give them
coaching classes. It is not possible.
No.
If you guys know, it's exhausting and I wouldn't do that to any coach.
And you don't have enough classes in the day to support a full-time.
No.
You know, but I mean, first of all, the hours are sporadic.
Right.
You've got like the early morning classes.
Yeah.
If you're gonna make up 40 hours a week of coaching classes, you need to literally be at the gym for 15 hours a day.
That's right.
And half of that you're not doing much because the classes are so spread out. So I guess I'm assuming.
So we do all of our new people that come into the gym go through private coaching startups. Those get delved out to the coaches, and I always encourage them in establish a long-term relationship with that client. Do a 1 or 2 PTs a month with that client, and then you can build up a nice stable of clients. We also pay our coaches 50% of any clinics they do. So if they create a clinic, a pull-up clinic, or a rope climbing clinic or something like that, we give them 50% plus the hourly wage to teach that clinic. Right. And then we also we pay anywhere from 60 to 70% of the commissions on private coaching. That's it's some gyms, or I guess 2-brain business guys wouldn't pay that much, but we're in a again high net worth area. I'm more interested in the membership fee. Yep. And if I have to break even on the private coaching, I'm willing to do that so that
it's very
coaches
similar
can get,
to us. Yeah. I mean, if you're giving the coach an opportunity to be comfortable and to enjoy their job and to make a healthy living, then they're just going to stay to support you in all the ways that you need them as well, right?
That's right. And if they have a relationship with a member, they're doing private coaching, I get a better trained member, and then another reason for that member to stay.
Huge.
Totally. And if you think about what Greg says about coaching development, your trainer's coaching one-on-one is probably going to be developing them even more as trainers for the classes.
Absolutely right. Like you're under a microscope with one-on-one training.
That's right. Yeah. There's nowhere to hide.
There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, you can't just look at the person and I'll go to this guy.
No, exactly right.
This guy looks a little easier to coach.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Exactly.
That's I think those are really good points to bring up, because I think a lot of gym owners sort of struggle with that. Like, how do you give opportunity to your coaches to make it a full-time gig? Yeah. And you almost need to promote some entrepreneurialism. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Within your own gym. Yep.
I allow them to talk to members. They're decent about it. And I try to encourage them, don't give away coaching advice for free. And members will do that after class. Hey, can you help me with my... And I tell them, help them once, and then say, listen, but let's, what you need is a longer term plan. Set a PT with me. Right. We have, one of the things we do is we allow our members to do 30-minute PTs. So that makes it a little less of an obstacle to overcome. Right. It's a little cheaper. Yeah. And people can see themselves, I can do a 30-minute PT. Yeah. That's usually
come in, work on some skills. Yeah. It doesn't need to be a full session. Yeah.
Do they end up like tacking that before or after a class?
Yeah,
sometimes?
They do. They'll do after class.
That's cool.
And the other thing that we do for our coaches to allow them to earn a little extra is we allow them to do programming for clients, custom programming. And we actually pay them even more of a percentage on that. So that if members want accessory work to do on their own, but they need something written down for them to do it, our coaches will do that.
That's a great idea.
A couple coaches that are making a pretty decent income doing that custom programming. Yeah. And the members come in and do it in open gym.
That's huge.
It is. It's pretty cool.
That's huge. And then, I mean, in terms of having the business survive, like this is just multiple revenue streams, for you, which is just going to continue to keep the doors open and allow you to grow and put money back into the business and, buy more rowers when one breaks and all this stuff,
I see our business, Diablo, and it had a number of conversations with other affiliate owners and other gym owners about where we are in the future. And I think it becomes... Our neighborhood is not just the ones that live close to us, but they are further out that don't come to us, but they're getting programming from us, from one of our coaches. Right. much like the Verta doctor, right?
Right.
So we're
Some
prescribing
remote.
stuff to them, the workouts to them, and then maybe they come in and do a PT with us because it's not that far away. They come and do a PT with us once
That's
or twice
interesting.
a month.
Yeah.
That kind of hybrid gym model.
Yeah.
And there's a number of gym owners that are having some success with that.
Yeah. Huh.
So you can program. My coach can program garage gym workouts for you, or wherever gym you're going to, and then once a month come in and get an assessment.
That's right. Make sure you're moving properly.
Make sure you're moving properly. I think that is over the next 3 to 5 years something that we'll be doing a lot more of a business like that.
That's a huge door to open, is that accessibility. A lot of people don't have time to make the trip every day to the gym. A lot of people, and a lot of people, programming is going to be cheaper than buying the actual gym membership. Right. So just affordability is going to be there as well. That's smart. Yeah. That's huge. That's a really good idea. Greg talks a lot about quality of coaching as sort of it should be at least the foundation of any gym that's hoping to thrive. Is that sort of where you felt you started and continue to look towards for potential room for growth, or is it more now that that's established for you? Are you looking more towards like the business sides of things instead of just like the quality of the product that you're
that's a really good question. It's relevant right now because we've introduced 3 new coaches to our mix, and some of the feedback wasn't great from our community. It really underlined the fact to me that the caliber of coaching is super important. And a couple people was filtered up said, hey, I'm paying a lot. I expect Diablo to have the best coaching out there.
Yeah.
So I've set that bar for myself already with the caliber of coaches we had in the ongoing coaching, coach development that we do. And so it just draws attention to the importance of making sure that you're delivering good product. And I think it is absolutely imperative that we have, in particular, Diablo has the best coaches and runs the best classes. Greg said that, went to a conference in 2009, and he said that on stage. He goes, look, run really good classes. And he goes, and your best coaches aren't going to be the ones that have the most certifications. As a matter of fact, those guys might annoy people.
Yeah.
He goes, they've got to be, they got to be able to connect. And Pat Barber said it too, is, the most valuable quality of a coach is their emotional IQ.
Yep.
And it's so true. And so we're, again, I think that, yes, I want all of these other things to build our business, that, the remote coaching and the programming, those things. But at the end of the day, I've got to have really good coaches.
Exactly.
1, L2, L3s, and then constantly develop them as well and stay on top of them. We have a survey system with amongst our key people. When I take a class, I fill out a survey of the coach, and it's just like a 5-question survey.
Right.
Did they start on time? Did they end on time? How good was the warm-up? Was it appropriate? Those kinds of things. And it's just boom. So I have that data. So when I meet with the coaches for the reviews, I've kind of got it.
That's great.
Yeah. So who completes the surveys?
Some members?
So
I've got my head coach, Jamie Lee, completes it. I complete it. My wife completes it. And then a couple of other members complete it as well.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And it's about 5 or 6 people. And so when they take a class, they just fill it out after class. It's a quick Google form.
Yeah.
And gives us data.
Yeah. And you can just get
super simple.
Yeah. And you just accumulate that over time.
Yeah, over time. And then I really don't look at it. I look at it, about near review time. I just kind of go through it, and you can see the red flags pop up.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. And
super simple.
Was it the 2009 conference where Greg drew that diagram where it was, you chase excellence instead of the money?
Yes.
And if you chase excellence, then the money will find you.
Yeah.
Versus you're going to find a whole lot of misses if you start to chase the dollar.
I look back at our history, Pete, and anytime I chased the money, that's where I had issues.
Right.
Whenever I focused on just not worrying about the business
Being
and just kind of really good, running really good
Yeah.
classes, kind of took care of itself.
Yeah.
The grid stuff, the other affiliate stuff, those were all.
It's all chasing the money.
Those were chasing money.
Yeah. It makes total sense.
I give myself some forgiveness. That's capitalism, and it's we need income to pay the bills.
Definitely.
But it shouldn't. C.J. Martin said it to me when I went to a conference a couple of years ago. And he stood up and talked about what was really important. He says, make sure you have your values written down and make sure that, you review them often and state your values. And is it consistent with your values? And I was like, shit. I gotta make sure I do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because you forget. We
You
get,
do.
you know, and when it's written down, now it's on the inside of my planner. If you look on the inside, it's right there. you
Yeah.
know, and I don't look at it every day, but every 3 or 4 days I open them. Like, oh yeah, okay.
Is what I'm doing in line with these
Is what
values.
I'm doing in line
That's
with these
huge. So
values.
maybe this is if we should wrap it up so that we can go see Pat Sherwood
Yeah.
deliver his thing. But maybe would this be maybe the advice that you give a young affiliate owner?
Yeah, young
understand
affiliate
your
owner would be-
values.
understand what your values are.
Yeah.
and do write them down and review them, and you feel free to edit them.
Yeah.
Right. And even better, tell other people what those are. So then you hold yourself accountable to it.
Yeah.
And then finally be prepared for ups and downs. It's just like your fitness. It's not linear. It's not a straight line. There's ups and downs. You'll make it through it. Just freaking put your head down and grind.
Huge.
Grind through the burpees.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll make it. You'll make it to the other
24/1.
side.
Life is the CrossFit WOD is an analogy for life and business.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
true.
That's awesome.
So true.
Yep.
Well, any more questions for Craig?
No, that was great.
No.
Thanks
Yeah. Sorry. I hope I didn't talk too
No,
much.
man. Thanks a lot
No,
for
love it.
coming on. And
Yeah.
cheers to the next 10 years, hopefully,
Yeah,
for you.
absolutely. I'm
Hopefully
excited.
we can hit our first decade.
Yeah, you
pretty
will.
soon.
I've heard all about your gym, so I'm
So-
confident you will.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.